what if you could miraculously change your life? Would you? And Joe, would you mind sharing with us the first answer you gave me?
No.
Because you don't remember.
I I would and I wouldn't, only certain parts. Obviously, because I could not imagine life without my children, my beautiful children, and my granddaughter. And obviously having wonderful years with my late husband as well. But there are things that I would definitely would love to have changed. Like, you know, there's quite a few things in my life that I'd like to never experienced or had experienced more if I'd put my mind to it more. And sometimes I do regret because I could have done things. Sorry, my throat's gone dry.
You want to
Like
get
I was
some
into
water?
dancing. I'm okay. Like I used to do dancing, acting, and singing, and I gave it all up because I got a job and fell in love, so-called love. And I just threw it all away, and which I wish I hadn't, because I don't know what my future would have been like if I'd continued. But then I sit there and then I think, well, if I did do that, I probably wouldn't have met my husband. I probably wouldn't have had my children. And, you know, it's,
And the joy of your life,
yeah,
your grandchild.
exactly. I mean, I could not even imagine not having her in my life. Even my kids, it's like, it's, I just couldn't, you know, it'd be such a big, if I didn't have children, then I'd probably say, oh yeah, I'd love to change. But I couldn't, because they are my soul life. They're my life. I couldn't
That's.
imagine life without them.
I love that. I love what you're saying. And you know, back in the days, I would say I would never change anything in my life. Um, I'm not sure if I would say the exact same thing. Just before I continue on, is the sound good enough, or do I need to put on my headphones?
No, your sound is fine. It's no
Okay,
problem.
good. No crackling. Okay, so I actually started writing my book, or better said, I restarted writing my book because I've written a large part of it. It's called Road to Freedom,
Mm.
and because I'm also doing a. It's not an entirely new course because I started doing it like years ago, but it's. I started doing it again and I stopped because of my mom's passing a year ago. So when I started doing it again, it all came flooding back, of course. The same with what had happened actually when you started to lose your mom, because that brought all those memories back as well,
Yeah.
back in March. Um, but, you know, going down memory lane, that's quite something. And because they want Tap My Grass is all about sharing your story and your message, I had to go down memory lane, and it threw me off a little bit. And but thinking about it, it was like, okay, so who do I want to talk to? So who do I want to support? And here is the thing: there are two different target audiences. Um, so if I talk to Evan Carmichael, who has known me very well and has come to know me very well, he actually has a nickname for me. And no, I'm not going to share it right here, but he knows. Um, it's very cool because it actually refers to staying young, even if you're half a century old, which the both of us are. Um, and so he said, you want to learn people to speak up and speak out, share their voice. And you agree, I assume. So I've been working with a lot of traumatized people too. And what I want for them, what I wish for them more than anything else, is to get back in charge of their life. And with that, everything that's linked to it. So that includes the legacy belief, because, you know, most people have children, they have a spouse, they have friends, others have colleagues and employees. So we all leave a mark on someone else, even if it's just for meeting someone for a second, just like I did earlier today. So, um, and so when we were talking earlier, I was like, I want to do something with story and message. And then when you said, I'm bored, basically, because that's what it came down to, and because you're out of your normal routine, I was like, oh, maybe we can combine the two. And that's how I came up with what if you could change the narrative of your life? So basically, the story of your life. So I'm going to see what Anna's writing. So she says, I love my life too, but I love to change some things that affect me, like person areas. So she means the sign. I always want the impossible, like in a Caro dream. Well, it's interesting that she says so because we were talking about this, you know, and I said, and you said that um, you fully support your daughter's dreams.
Yeah.
And then you told me, because I didn't know, that you did acting, singing, and what was the third one again?
Dancing.
Dancing yourself.
Yeah.
And then I said, why don't you pick it back up again?
I'm
So
too
why don't
old.
you?
I'm too old.
Well, there's no such thing as too old.
Oh, I don't know. I'm 53 now. So I'm like,
So the question is, when we talk about expression and sharing who you are and sharing your emotions, do you need to be young or do you need to be experienced or something in between? Or maybe both?
yeah, probably both really. I mean, I would love to get back into my acting again and that, it's I don't know. It's been such a long, long time and I don't know. I mean, obviously Ellen's doing it and I will follow her and I will make sure that she gets to where she wants to. I will help her in every way because she's got so much talent and she's been told as well so many times that she will be big. She's going to make it big.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes me proud because I'm like, oh my God, people are saying it. And so many people said, like, she's got so much, she's got the natural, the way she is, the way she acts, the way she gives out her persona and everything. She's very,
She's very authentic too.
yes,
The
yes,
way she looks. And by the way, Anna says both too. Anna, you're looking good as well, by the way. Just saying.
yes,
Um, but here's the thing. Um, if according to your standards that would be true, that we have to be young, then you wouldn't be watching Chicago PD, and especially you wouldn't have a fan page about Jason Begay.
yeah, I suppose so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess. And it was my daughter that got me to do the page, like she said you should. Because obviously I was in a dark place and obviously blah, blah, blah. And she said, look, you wrote so many lovely quotes, Mum. She said, just post Hank Boy or Jason, whatever, do these like quotes and your edits. She said, you're so good at edits and your editing and stuff. I was like, I said, but no one's going to follow me. No one's going to bother. I said, no one's going to probably like the pay. I said, there's probably so many out there. And she's like, yeah, but you never know. Just give it a go. And she said, you're in such a bad place at the moment. She said, it'll help you, lift you up, and make you feel happy. I was like, okay. And obviously I did. And now I've nearly reached 8,000 followers,
I
And
think when we started out, you told me you had like 7,000 followers. And now
yeah,
I'm not sure for how long we've been doing this together. Probably 4 months, I suppose.
yeah,
But you've gone in those months to plus 1,000. So
yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. That's a good thing. Don't you think so, Anna? So,
Yeah,
um,
but people like you and Anna that, support me and, people, I get compliments so much about my edits and and it's nice. It makes you feel good, you know.
Hmm.
So,
So we know, as well as you do, that there's this guy who is called Brian Lutz.
oh,
Hugh
right.
actually is the one teaching the main characters in Chicago PD
Yeah,
what it's like to be a police officer and how to respond and all that stuff. So there are actually real life police officers in Chicago PD.
yeah,
And well, my Lutz is actually the one showing them. And every now and then there's a little behind the scenes, not just from the camera guys, but also from Lutz explaining what's going on and how they have to act. And I love it. So, there are more people, and also the people who matter, who actually see you doing that page, because you are paying tribute not just to Jason Begay as an actor, not just to his character Hank Voight, but basically to the whole Chicago PD, the whole one Chicago.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
like to do different, you know, aspects, and obviously, I'm a big fan of Brian Luch as well. I think he's just such an amazing guy. He's so funny,
Oh
and
yeah,
him
yeah.
and Jason are so much alike. And I think that's why I love Brian so much, because he's so much like Jason. They're like brothers. They're so quirky, so sarcastically funny, and they've got so much alike. And that's why I like him. And when he does all his BTS, like, you know, posts and everything, and it's just so good that he shares it with everybody, you know, because he doesn't have to, and they're like private stuff, and you know, he loves to share it with us, all the fans, and he appreciates the fans, you know, and
Oh, he does.
that's what keeps people going, you know, when you've got people like that. But I just absolutely adore him because he's just so funny. He just reminds me of Jason. I can
Yeah,
imagine
he's
the two
funny.
when they're together.
He's funny, all those little
They're
behind the
pranks.
scenes.
And
They're
he's always
hilarious.
pranking people, but it was nice to actually see him post a video of him being pranked, and it was fantastic. It was so funny. I was like, yes,
Yeah,
finally.
yeah, yes. But he does that too. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's really being yourself.
Mm.
So I'm kind of curious if he were to watch this, if there would be something that he would like to change, because we all think like he's the best out there. So Anna saying, "Yo, I admire you a lot. Your page is so beautiful, and you
Oh,
are so radiant lately."
oh,
See?
thank you so much.
See? I'm not the only one saying
I know.
it.
Thank you, Anna. Love you. Heart.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, we're all from different countries.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I've got friends from all over the world now. It's
Yeah.
amazing, you know.
And
Really is.
and it's not like you are in Chicago or anything.
No, that's the thing, you know. I mean, I didn't realize that I would make so many people like friends from around the world just by doing a page on a actor, you know,
Yeah.
my favorite actor. I know a lot of them are like Voight fans, but obviously there is some that are actual Jason fans that have been fans. Like there's a couple I know that have been fans for quite a long while, and obviously me, I've been over 21 years now, and it's just nice to be in contact with people, you know. And obviously I met you, of
Who?
course.
Me?
Yes, Lady Lexy. And without you, I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing any of this, because I never had no courage or the power to do anything like this, because I'm like, oh no, you know, I couldn't, you know. And you've helped me through so much in the last months that I've known you. You've got me out of that shell where I was very like in such a dark sort of place where I kept hiding away from everything. And obviously having the page kept me going, kept me happy, because it was something that I enjoyed doing. And then obviously I met you, and then I met some few others, and you know, and it's just been amazing. And you getting me to join and talking to you and me learning to trust you, because I have really big trust issues with people. And, you know, I'm very, very wary of people. I like to sort of, um, get to know them first before I let them in my life, because I've been let down before and I got so weary in the end, and I learnt to trust you and let you in my life, around my world, and you've got me to actually come out of my world to share all my problems and everything with people that are going through the same, and it does help. It really
I
does
know
help.
you have helped people doing so. I know you have because they have told me. So that's good. And I applaud you for having the courage to be on here, just like Anna has the courage to be on here too.
Yeah.
So for those who don't know, it's just a little bit easier that Anna is actually commenting. Part of it has to do because she actually cannot be present here because of the job she's doing. But the other part is that because she is from Brazil, I'm saying it right?
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it's like the going back and forth when it comes to translating. And if you're
Yeah.
not used to doing it all the time, it takes a lot of time to get there. But when she's typing, it's going like fluidly. So it's so this way, I love that she's there. And I mean, I totally I'm so happy with her comments. So I embrace the fact that she's here. And
Yeah.
of course, that you are here too.
Yeah.
So getting back to um, if you could change the narrative of your life. So because of all the things that have happened, you started doing your page. We got to meet. You are inspiring others. I mean, there's no doubt about that. You
I
do?
hope so. I hope so. Yeah, I really do hope so.
Yeah. So, um, and when it comes to dreams, and that's what I wrote down in my book too. And before I go in, if you see me drinking it like this, no straw, no glass, it's because I literally came in for my walk outside and I was like, I need to start in time. So, so now I'm not ladylike. If I wouldn't be on screen, I would drink it just like this too. So just so you know. Okay, so getting back to what I was talking about with authenticity, because that's what I was referring to, authenticity in your dreams. So you said you used to do dancing, acting, singing. And actually, it was a little bit of fun because when we were walking and it was nearly there to get the ice cream, what we were doing, the both of us were singing. And it was pitch black. You've seen the pictures. Where it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, I'm going to sing those high notes too. Not sure what you were thinking when I did, but it was kind of funny.
It was. It was a good laugh. I enjoyed it. It was funny.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the whole thing. You are, supporting your daughter
Yeah.
with, and we know how authentic she is. I mean, we've seen pictures. At least I've seen pictures, and I've seen them too. Um, and she's beautiful. She has her own style of hair. She has her own style of clothing. She actually makes them herself. And it reminds me from when I was young back in the days, when, I would be walking around in leopard pants, because back then glam metal was in. And I was metalhead and I showed it. So I was walking around with the scarves and all. Went to school wearing those. And it made sense that I went to the Academy of Arts because um, as from a little girl onwards, my mom, she basically told me everything when it came to anything creative, whether it was knitting or um, drawing, whatever, making my own clothes even at the sewing on the sewing machine. So, um, but here was the thing: the kids didn't understand that. So it was on both sides of my family. And in my story, I start with I'm 4 years old and I'm in kindergarten, and I've got this card for my great aunt, and I want to show it to them, to the kids, but instead they take it away from me and they just throw it everywhere. So I can't get to it. And I'm just like, I don't get it. So as a result, I withdraw and I start to daydream, and I actually do everything I can do on my own, which of course included the drawing and all that stuff. But I did go at some point to the Academy of Arts because I was always in my room. There was my bed, there was a closet behind my bed, and let's check the camera. Let's go. It's in the other direction. Thank you. Yeah, it's got a mind of its own. Yes, it's live, people. If you're wondering, this is live. Yeah, and I see you. I see you. Can you see your comments? It's a smiley. Laughing with tears.
Like that.
So funny.
Yeah. Where's your seat bit?
But anyway, so when I went to the Academy of Arts, I was really being me, but I'd worked for a year. So I still didn't fit in. So like the kid I was, he was always on that bed, leaning against the closet, drawing, doing my homework, whatever it was. And of course, I did spend time with my brother and my sister and with my parents. But lots of time, I think most of the time, I spent my life there in that one little corner. So doing everything I could. So I had this big wooden board, and I would use it to make huge drawings on there. That was me. And then when I was watching television, I would do my homework, and we might, oh no, yeah, thank you. Yeah, we need to redirect the camera. So it's actually, it interacts with my hands. That's what you actually see. So even when we would have company, so my brother would have friends over, I would be knitting, watching TV, having a conversation, and learning at the same time. That was me. But here's the thing: when they told me at the Academy of Arts, last minute, literally last week, that I had to redo that year. And it was totally unexpected, and I still remember the teacher coming up to me, Tony, and saying, yeah, I talked to some of the teachers and we decided to give you, I think it would be like a C minus. It was like, it's okay, it's doubtful, and it's not okay. So those were the three things they used, apart from the A, B, and C, and the D and E. And he said, we decided to let you redo the year. And I was like, okay, you don't know my dad. And my dad is not going to put up with this. So he's going to say, you know what? You leave the house now. Of course, he didn't. But in my mind, it was set. It was fixed. So I was like, okay. So I went to this agency, talked to them, like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to redo the year? So another 3 years, then I need to do what other people tell me to do. Whereas at the Academy of Arts, I learned to be creative. Or am I going to get back in the IT, start at the bottom, and then see what happens? Because that year that I was on the waiting list, I actually ended up in IT. And that's what I did. And before I knew it, I was living on my own. And that's when the conventional life, the boring life, the cookie cutter life started. So I was, in no time, I was living together with a boyfriend. I actually moved to his place as in location. So I wasn't near my family anymore. I was actually in the middle of the country. And then I started to develop a repetitive strain injury. So, oh my God, there it goes again. I don't like you, camera. And um, for those who are wondering, why am I so distracted by the camera? Well, I'll just point it out. It's a mess behind me. So if you're wondering, yes, it is. It's, I can be very systematic, but I'm also very chaotic. And everything that comes through that door, it literally ends up on my printer, which is behind me. So I'm just saying it the way it is. Then it's out there. Talked about it. I could have not said it. Maybe you wouldn't have noticed. Now you sure have noticed it. But that's me. I'm not going to hide who I am. Anyway, and yes, there is an ADHD component to it too. So by saying it to you, the ones who are watching, it actually helps me because it literally distracts me. And when I get it out there, it's out there. Okay, so it's over and done with. That's me. But I got back to the boring life, and also to a life I didn't agree with. So, what you were talking about, the dancing, the singing, the acting, the cultural things, which I would say are also the things which are linked to the Academy of Arts. They didn't understand it. They didn't appreciate it. So after a year, I ran away, met my husband back then. And, there were a lot of things we understood from one another. We had a similar background. He was in IT as well. But here was the thing. He really loved it if I dressed up, with the suits, with the shirt, all that stuff. And that wasn't me. So, so and it was, of course, and everything just happened at the same time. And I, I know it's hilarious at times, and that's good. I appreciate you having a good time. But back then in the early 90s, grunge came into existence, and I didn't like grunge, so I started listening to music less and less. Although I did start to play drums back in the 90s, because of those wrist and the repetitive strain injury. So that was my way of not being able to go to the gym. So I had to find something. But other than that, I was basically disconnected because I wasn't close to my family. Of course, when I went back to live for a half year at my parents' place, I was again. But still, those immense creative things, I stopped doing them. I started living the conventional life. Of course, I never had kids, but I did become a trainer. And yes, my suits weren't the usual suits. So I would have those shiny ones, the dark blue ones. I would have a little pattern on there. I did have my own style, but still, it was not the expressive version like I am now. And it took me to go to a concert so I don't know, in the back you see two pictures, and one you can see clearly. So you see someone playing the guitar and singing. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's John Corabi. And he, in 2009, I got to see him. I actually went to see a concert to see Bruce Kulick. He used to be in Kiss, and then Kiss got back together with the original members. And when I saw that guy, I was like, wow, look at those tattoos. I'd never seen actual sleeves in real life. But then I got to see them and I was like, wow. But also, and this I didn't know, I had always music. I just didn't know it yet because I hadn't checked who did the singing. So that's kind of funny. But anyway, Bruce took a picture of me and John Corabi. And then one of him and me together. And everyone who saw the picture of me and Krabby, that's his nickname, they were like, wow, look at you being happy. So at some point when I was working, on the background on my desktop, I had the picture of me and John Krabby. So it was kind of funny because there I was, and then next to me was this guy with the black hair, the piercings, full with sleeves, full with tattoos next to me. And people were like, is that your boyfriend? And it was, no, that's not my boyfriend. So at some point, it was actually on a big wall during presentation. I started up my laptop, and then it showed up, and it was like 16 or 20 times me and John Krabby. It was so funny. But he inspired me to actually get this piercing, and later on this one. So it used to be a piercing like that one, so a little ring, but because my face is so immensely asymmetric, I had let it grow back, let it grow shut, so it was closed up, and then they redid the piercing again. So and now it's never going to be a ring again anymore, which I sort of regret, but this is a little bit better. So I always call this my permanent makeup. And of course, for those who can actually see it, I'm back to blue hair. Well, I actually never had black hair before. I had red hair, but then I started to paint it blue. So it used to be black, and then so I recognize a lot in what you're saying when it comes to leading the conventional life and letting go of your dreams. Of course, when in 2000, well, first in 2014 and later in 2017, and so on and onwards from there, I got to meet my friends who were in the music scene, and I started touring with them, going backstage, discussing video, audio, photography. That's when I got reconnected to the whole stuff again. That's when I started doing vlogs, actually, and this is the result. Me talking to you right now here on this screen, from what I actually started doing in 2018. So back to you. If you could change the narrative, and let's just say about your dreams. So of course you want to hang on to your beauties of children, and of course your granddaughter too. And I know that you dearly have loved and still love Keith, even though he's no longer around. But when it comes to dreams like dancing, singing, acting, so maybe you can't do it all, but you are here on the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. Guess. I wish if I could, that's one thing I would love to go back and carried on with what I was doing, because I could have had a probably better life than I'm leading now. Financially, obviously, I know at the moment financially it's obviously due to losing my husband, so that's what the struggle is at the moment, because we was okay before when he was here. Obviously it was a big loss because we lost everything, not only just him. And but I would love to have carried on and just see what would have happened if I'd got somewhere, like in either acting, singing, or dancing. It's just weird when you look back at your life and you sit there and think, oh my God, look, I could have been that person on telly. That could have been me doing that. I could have been doing that, because I remember there was one audition that I was meant to go to, but as I said, I just found a normal job and just didn't bother going to this audition. And it was for a big part in a film. And what was the name of the film? Oh my God, it's quite old. It It was a British film anyway, so you probably wouldn't have heard of it.
It's not Footloose or anything.
No, no.
Dancing and acting together.
And I still regret to this day that I never went, you know.
Yeah.
I had some small parts in things, you know, and I could have gone far, but I just never bothered. I just sort of give up, and I fell in love, as you say. And obviously that was the worst mistake of my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I'd love to get rid of. Certain things in my past, the abuse, losing my little boy. I'd love to have had him here now. You know, I was 20 at the time, and he would be, what, 32 now? You know, it's things like that I'd love to change and get rid of. Is the abuse, mainly the abuse. Everything else, I was quite happy with my life, you know. As
Yeah.
I said, my children, my husband, if I could change, COVID never coming around. But then I sit there and I think, well, it's weird because, you know, him passing and think, I've done that page. I've met you. I've met 3 really great women through losing their husbands to COVID, who I'm really good friends with. You know, so it's like it was meant to be brought together, if you know. It's like you were all meant to come in my
Fate.
life. Yeah, you was meant to come in my life. You was meant to get me to do this, and you know, because I've never ever dreamed, never ever thought of ever doing something like this and telling people about my life story. You know, what I went through, the abuse, and from the age of 3 upwards. You know, like I would never ever thought anything like that I would ever tell anybody my life stories. You know, and it's just, I think it's like they say things happen for a reason. You know. And I know my dream is to meet Jason Begay, and I will one day. It will happen. I'm manifesting. I'm manifesting it's going to happen. I will. I'm going to keep saying to myself. My daughter keeps saying, "You've got to manifest, Mum, because it will happen. You must manifest." I don't
Well,
like.
you're close to Lutz now, so and as it's probably, well, I need to arrange those tickets. I'm probably going to meet Marina and Royce.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
Leroy's, yeah. So that's going to
Don't
be
talk to me.
quite funny.
Don't talk to me no more.
Yeah, well, they
Hey,
come to the
rubbish.
Netherlands. I can't help it that they're coming to the Netherlands.
Yeah, but
And
he's not
even for
great.
me, it's like 2 hours at least driving just to get there because it's all on the other side of the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Netherlands isn't big. It's like Florida. Of course, it doesn't say much to you because you haven't been in Florida. But for the
No.
American people out there, it's not that big. It's like 2 hours from this side to the other side, and then like 3, 4 hours from up there to down there. Something.
But you're
And
not
I'm
Jason. Oh, I'm all right. If it was Jason, then I would be out there. But it's not. This is what
well,
annoys me in this country. We have all these Comic Cons and everything, and they never have anyone from Chicago PDO. And I'm like, why? Why?
how we do.
You do, yeah, but we don't.
Yeah.
Why? It's not fair. I hate it. I hate this country. It sucks
We
sometimes.
are going to make it happen. We are going to make it happen. So Anna says you deserve it.
Oh, thank you. Even if I was to get to chat to him on video call, that would just be a dream. Just to speak to him, or oh my God, that would make me, that is my bucket list, my top bucket list, is
Mm-hmm.
to have a conversation. All I would love to do is just say to him, say thank you for who he is and being part of my life, you know, and for getting me and my husband together. Because if it wasn't through Monkey Shines, I would never have met my husband.
Yeah.
Would never
I love
have
that story.
Ellen. I would never have had my daughter. And that's what I appreciate him for. People might think, oh, yeah, whatever, you're stupid. But it's not to me. It's not. It means a lot to me. You know, it's special. That's why it's
Yeah.
such a special person to me. Like all people like post, yeah, oh, I love him. No, mine isn't that. Oh, I love you. No, I just appreciate the person he is, and I admire him for who he is, and the great acting he is, what he does in life, what he does for charity, and things like that. And he's just such an intelligent guy, And
Well, you're talking about inspiration and
mm,
giving you peace of mind,
yeah,
something to think about. I mean, for me, the one who really influenced my life was Eric Carr, the
yeah.
Fox, the drummer
We've
from
all got
Kiss.
that one person. We all have that one person in life that we look up to, you
Yeah,
know,
and
and
he got me to
Jason is
play the
mine.
drums. And
Mm.
if you go to my Instagram page, you still see the picture of me in fox makeup. Hey, there is Terry stopping by to say good day. Have a great show, ladies. Hello, Terry. We are talking about what if you
Hello,
could change
Terry.
the narrative of your life, and you must have some ideas about that. So, and by the way, we concluded that the first thing probably is, what do you want to hold on to in your life?
Yeah,
And yeah, and I was right when she says the love so much more than romantic love. It embodies the appreciation and
yeah,
and things
exactly.
we got to
I
pick
love
up.
him. I love him for who he is, for the person he is. That's my love for him. I adore him because of who he is. Not in love
Yeah.
with him. I love
So
him as a person.
so we could talk about inspiration. We could talk about role model. And Terry, if you're still watching, who is your role model and your inspiration? I would love to know. Put it in the comments or get your. Um, let me just for a sec copy the link and see if you want to come on, even though you don't have much time, because I know it's almost time for you to go get some sleep and you want to chill. But this is about the good stuff in life. So, about what about if you could get your dreams back and go live them? So, getting back to it, I think, I believe that I've started reconnecting with my dreams again. So, I still haven't been on stage playing drums. I did participate in a video, where I was actually visible playing the drums. As the keyboard player, so that's a little bit funny, but it just was easier, to walk around with what do you call the jingle bells? Do you actually call it the jingle bells? The
Jingle bells,
chimes?
chimes,
Yeah,
bells,
the
chimes.
chimes. Yeah. So you see me with the chimes, and in another video you see me with the drums from the shaman. So the felling changed the world, says a Brazilian song. The felling. The felling, the ones who have fallen, change the world. So, what does it mean, Anna? What do they want to get across with that song? I'm kind of curious.
What's
Um,
the felling change? Does she mean the falling?
yeah, it's either the fallen or it's about feeling changing the
Yeah.
world. So let's see what she comes up with. It's kind of interesting to see the different expressions worldwide and what they mean.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't um, gotten on this chase. So I don't know if it was because 2009, but at some point I decided to go back to concerts again. In 2011, I wanted to see Crimson Glory. I got to see them in 2012. Then I was like, I need to figure out what happened to the original singer, Midnight. So I went on a chase to hunt down his songs. Anna says, I mean that when you want so much something with a strong feeling, everything could be possible. Yeah, that's so true, Anna.
Yeah. Yeah, so true, Anna. Yeah.
Yeah. And while you're typing, let us know what that is for you. What you would really like to do in life, get out of life, or do at least once. Maybe meet someone, whatever it is. Um, but, you know, um, going to that concert in 2009 and then meeting up with my friends, which actually was because I wanted to know about the music from Midnight. And that's how, within a week after expressing that one wish, I got to meet his entire family, his friends. It was weird. I got to meet the band with the Neil singer, got to go backstage, and it was like, what had just happened to me? It was so weird. But because of that, the one who was working with Midnight after he left the band, Crimson Glory, he actually had his own bands, and he's a musician, like full-time musician, always playing guitar, and so he's always doing something, and it's kind of cool because when you meet him, chances are that you meet him while he's playing guitar. By the way, he's the drummer from Monstrosity, but he plays a lot of instruments. And he was the one who actually showed me what he had captured on video and what he was doing when it came to sounds and all that stuff. So I started recording videos of the concerts they did. Not Crimson Glory, but the one who was writing with Midnight. I call him Lavender. That's the easy. That's the way I call him. Anyway, he brought me back to. He reconnected me with my passion, and I remember that one day in 2017 when I was like, "Oh, this is relaxing. I don't have to do anything. I was just tying shoelaces in my boots, and I didn't have to take care of anyone." And he was just showing me all these videos that he had recorded, all these fun things. And I was like, I need to do that again. I need to do it more. And of course, in the book, you will know, and it's also in the story when I share my story, that we were asked, me and a friend of mine, who we were with the boys in their hotel rooms, and they asked, please stay for breakfast, please stay. And at some point I said, no, I can't do it. I need to go back home, take care of the whole bunch. And so I did. And because of circumstances, I missed out. I didn't see them at the airport, and I cried for like a week because everything I found, the whole purpose, everything that I used to be and used to love, I was reconnected with that again. And that's basically how I got to start recording videos again, and now here we are. So
good.
Yeah. So there's a whole story behind that. So what's Anna saying? When I took my first flight to the beach here in Brazil, 6 months before, never thought that I could be in a plane. Do you play drums? Yes, and I do play the drums. I play the guitar, I play keyboards, and I play a variation of other stuff too. And actually, I got myself today some other stuff so I could practice the double bass and some other stuff here, which is actually quite good for my back. So the funny thing is, I love the drums and playing music because of inspirations like bands like Kiss, and of course Eric Carr, who started those thunderous drums like dunk 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 dunk, which still till this day I can still hear it in my mind because he played them loud, those drums. But because of the repetitive strain injury, I had to play the snare drums, and now I've noticed when my back is really hurting, when I play the double bass, it actually it forces me to develop both legs at the same time, same muscle strength, all that stuff. And because I haven't been able to stand on my left foot for like 7 years, there's some catching up to do with my left foot. So I had also had a lot of trouble playing the drums and playing the hi-hat because I couldn't lean on the heel of my foot. I could only play with my toes. And every now and then I still have that same problem. So, yeah, it's going to help me, hopefully, when it comes to health reasons, but also because I totally love it. So, and it's very good when it comes to working out. So hopefully there are some other advantages too in the long run.
Cool.
Okay, so having spoken like an hour about me, myself, and I, well, not an hour, but it felt like I did for the last 10 minutes. I got back to a number of my dreams. I'll never get to meet Eric Carr, and because he's not alive anymore, I still dream about him every now and then. You know, like, oh, is there stuff out there from him, bootlegs, all that stuff. And that's probably the reason that I'm going to be at the last concert from Kiss when they're in Europe, in Amsterdam. But yeah, I'm starting to catch up, you know, going to festivals, going to concerts, seeing people I used to love growing up. And then my parents, of course, would say, no, you're not going there. You're way too young. Yeah, you know, I do some of the drawing myself when it comes to my books. What I mostly do is like you do the editing on the videos. I love to do that myself, you know, so I make my own thumbnails, backgrounds, all that stuff. And of course, people tell me, we can read it, you need to change it. Okay. And then it's like, oh my God, this is getting so boring. I don't want it like this. But yeah, it's readable. Okay. Function over, what do you call it? Creativity.
I so many people inbox me. Oh, can you do an edit for me, please? Oh, can you do this for me, please? Oh, can
Well,
that's so amazing.
so when we're talking about being creative, about speaking out, I mean, here you are, and you know, your daughter still. She will be singing at home and dancing, and there will be you probably have like a little studio for her back at your house. So why not, you know, do something with her? And
Yeah, we could do a tap duo. I
were you
haven't
into
done.
tapping?
I used to tap dance as well. Yeah, Ellen does it as
Oh,
well. Yeah, I used to do tap dance. I used to be a champion at that.
oh, cool. How about the artist? Oh, you know what I mean. Um, what you see the artists do when they
Oh,
uh,
Irish dancing. Yeah,
yeah, what's it called?
yeah.
Flame?
We've been to seen that. Yeah, the Lord of Dance. We went to see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that one.
We've seen that. Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah. So if you can tap dance, you can probably make that happen too.
Oof. I can't no, can I? I can't tap no more.
Why not?
It's my ankle. I've got a metal plate in my foot on my
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
yeah, because I fractured, didn't I?
yeah.
My T-bone fib, both of them. So I've got metal plates, so I can't lift that foot up. That's why I won't be able to dance no more.
Mm-hmm.
Like how I used to. I used to do ballet and everything. I won't be able to now because of my foot, my ankle.
So what would be the next best thing?
Singing or acting, but I don't think I've got the nerve to do acting again.
Mm.
I don't think I've got the balls to go to an audition or anything. I think I'll be like, oh, no.
You know, this singing, just singing itself, regardless of you would do it on stage or not. And I mean, there are lots of clubs you can go to.
Oh, yeah, I
Um,
know. I know.
you know, and people love seeing other people sing, and that's how we get discovered. We in general. But singing is also a way of expressing yourself.
Yeah.
And you know, well, Anna said that she loves the drums. And everybody always says, you know, when you play drums, that's the way to unload your
And
frustrations.
frustration off, yeah.
Yeah, but it's way more. I mean, there's also all these nuances in playing drums, and there's nothing like going from rock to a kind of bluesy feeling and then back to it again, and then maybe change it to something funky and back again. So there is a whole creative art behind it, and you can still express yourself even when it wouldn't be on screen or on stage. But
Oh,
start with.
I sing a lot at home when I'm on my own, when I'm indoors. I'm always singing. Sometimes I've got my earphones on and I forget. Like earlier on, I was in the living room, I had my earphones on. I'm singing away, and my son's come down. All of a sudden, I've looked up and he's going, "You right there, Mum? You right there, Mum? What do you think you're Wembley?" I went, yeah, of course.
Well, I'll tell you something. When I'm behind my feed drums, I can also put on the music, and I always put on this live CD from Motley Crue. Again, John Corabi used to be in Motley Crue for a couple of years, replacing the singer. And I have to say, he absolutely did a better job than the original singer did. But, well, everyone wants the original one back. So, um, but regardless, if I play the drums, especially playing along the live CD, then I'm there next to Tommy Lee. And, I'm there on stage.
Like
And
you said,
then
yeah.
when they're talking to one another, it's like I'm there in the middle. Oh, okay, Nikki, you start the bass, and then Mick, you do this. It's so cool, And I would love to be on stage one day playing the drums. And the thing is that I'm always worried that I wouldn't be tight enough, spot on. But one of my friends actually told me that nowadays we use headphones, and in the headphones there's a click tracker in there, and you just listen to it, and that's the way to do it. Whereas if I were to play keyboard or anything else, I wouldn't have to be. Of course, it's better when you're spot on, when you're tight. I mean, listen to a group like Rammstein. What they're doing is not that fancy, but what they're doing is they are so immensely tight and literally on the beat, and that's what's working.
Yeah.
You know them actually? Have you heard of them, Rammstein?
Who?
Rammstein. Du
No,
hast,
no. Who's that?
du hast mich. No?
No, sorry. Not got a clue.
Okay. Well, they have a lot of provoking songs out there. And in case people are thinking, but don't they say, you hate me? No, that's not what they are singing. They are saying, you have asked me to marry you. And by the way, I said no. That's what they're singing about. But the translation is totally off most of the time. So as for wrapping this up, I want to ask Anna if she's still there and listening. I think she is. What would you do if you had the chance? Maybe music wise, maybe something else. Let me know, because I'm kind of curious. And yeah, and by the way, she wrote something about flying the plane, and it's a big dream for a lot of people to do so. I know it's not easy. By the way, I wouldn't never do it myself, because when I am in those small planes, I basically get all green. So no, thank you. But if there was one thing you could change, so getting back to your dreams, so we now know you wouldn't change for the world your children, your grandchild, your time with Keith. Um, well, if you had a magic wand, what would you start doing again? I mean, you're singing all day long anyway.
I would love to my dream was always to be on stage singing, not a singer, but musical theatre. I
Mm-hmm.
love I love musical theatre. When I go and watch them, I sit there and I close my eyes. It's like, and I imagine it's me standing there acting the part and thingy acting. I would love to get back into acting again. I really
Hmm.
would, but it's just I don't know. It's been such a long time, and I think, well, I'm 53 now. Who's going to take me on? I like,
So it
no.
starts with you. It all
Sorry.
starts with you.
Mm,
You need to get back into it again. And
mm,
when you get good at it and you're having a blast doing it, that's when anything else can happen. But it starts with you doing it.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Just saying, it's something you can do. I mean, just you being here, speaking up about everything that has happened and speaking out, sharing your voice, sharing your story. You never thought that you could, but you are changing people's lives with by doing so. You know, I mean, not too long ago we were talking about domestic abuse, and it's a hideous topic, but it needs to get out there. And of course, I try always to end on a positive note, so it's not one show that's the whole hour that it's not uh, depressional or anything frustrating, but that people actually can get something out of it.
Yeah,
And and if what you have been through prevents other people from experiencing the same, recognizing it sooner.
yeah,
So, and as for expressing yourself, I mean, get back in the game again. And I mean, start doing it for fun, maybe doing it a little bit more serious at home, and just see what happens.
yeah. I think it's because where I'm sort of more concentrating on Ellen at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
what I think that's been going on with her, and obviously now she wants to, follow a dream and
Mm-hmm. But isn't that the moment that we realize, as in as in the previous generation, like, hey, those teens, they have their dreams. What happened to ours?
mm,
Mm-hmm. And isn't it our duty to show that even when you are as old as we are, that you can still follow your dreams,
yeah,
purchase what you want, and just follow those dreams. Go after it.
yeah, it's a good point. Very good point.
I mean, just like we were singing just now on the phone, and I was outside, in the pitch black. Fortunately, I was behind this wall between me and the gas station and whatever else there was. But still, and I've got this friend, Vero, and she loves musicals too, and she loves singing too. So she's the one who is fronting the band Heaven Queen as the singer. So she's the one I did the videos with,
Yeah,
and I'm so used to her singing everywhere. Then we are in the restaurant, and there she goes, and she's got major volume, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, that's my friend Vero. And so on one hand, I'm like, okay, what are people going to think? And then I'm like, oh, but she's doing it. And it's not like I'm embarrassed, because I'm not embarrassed. It's like, there you have her again. That's more like it. I'm so used to it. And but yeah, that's and I have videos that in the middle of the night in Scheveningen at the beach, there we are, and suddenly she's dancing and singing with other guys, and that's Vero. And I mean, being able to celebrate life, and I'm not even sure if she sees it that way. I'll ask her afterwards. But I know that she's been on the brink of dying numerous times because of certain illness she's got. She's got Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
But then her expressing herself, she can't help it. And and that's the beauty of it. So let's not restrict ourselves. Like Anna says, I have to confess, I'm a little afraid to dream. Well, why should we restrict ourselves? Because other people are having judgments?
I dream all the time. I
Mm-mm.
dream of doing things and meeting certain people and doing. I think it's good to dream. I think it sort of gives you that little balance in life, makes
Yeah,
you
but
happy.
you are working towards it. I mean, you don't just dream. You have this fan page up. You use it to express your own feelings. You have some really amazing pieces of art there, which could be, like used for posters, promotions, all that stuff. So you do something with it. You do express yourself. You do show it. You're not shy
I
of saying,
I
"I would
was
like to meet him one
I
day."
was thinking of like trying to sort of see if anyone wanted to buy these images or but then I'm like,
Sorry.
would people want to buy them? Would people spend money on them? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, when they could just probably print them off themselves, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would love to do a page where I could do all these different types of edits and sell and, you know.
Well, you can always ask if it's okay to use these images the way they are
Yeah,
edited and then
yeah,
sell them.
I'd have to ask, obviously,
I mean,
whoever.
even if only that they would use your pictures and sell them yourself and you would get a percentage.
Mm, yeah, I don't know who I'd have to get in contact because obviously it'd have to be whoever with the cast, isn't it? Like the show, and because obviously it's of them, innit? I can't just like do the edits and just sell them because it's not of me. It's of
No.
characters, so it's you know.
Yeah.
No.
So you might have to wonder, can you get in touch with management and talk about it, or could you do other pictures and do something with it? But nowadays with all the privacy rules going on, it's kind of hard because when I record my videos, I always try to do it so people won't show up in there, because they have to give permission, unless, of course, it's outside in the public.
Yeah.
I can tell you that some people really, really, they are almost, the moment that they see you as a camera, even when you're filming yourself, they just blow up
Mm.
because they don't want to be on there.
Yeah.
Which, of course, begs the question, what are you hiding? So, okay. So, getting back to it, if you could have a magic wand and you could change the narrative, what would you do? We concluded that it's good to hold on to certain things. But I guess the most important thing is think back about your dreams, what you did, why you did it, and how you can use them to express yourself, show yourself for who you are, the authentic self. And if there's something you really love to do, well, maybe you won't be doing it on stage, but you can still do it, just be
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Because, people actually, they really appreciate people seeing them as themselves. And
Mm.
yes, when we grow up, and that's the whole thing, eh? When we grow up, the whole
Yeah.
expression of growing up means we
Yeah.
get bored. We don't do those things anymore. Well, what about if we were to grow up doing the dreams and the things we love to do? And saying, okay, we've got a career now, and maybe that doesn't match our dream, but it does help us to provide us with money and do the things we love to do. Because usually we initially start earning money with the things we are good at. And those are usually the things we love to do because we do them repeatedly. Okay, so bear with me if you're watching. Bear with me. Don't go just yet. And if you're going to watch this later on, all of this will be cut out. And that's the good bit because right now I'm sweating like crazy. So for those who want to share the narrative of their story, you're always welcome. And for those who are curious about my book, follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. There will be some videos on there. And my goal is to have it finished by July 3rd, when I'll also be doing a challenge. So keep an eye on that. And remember, if you want to speak out, there's always this link somewhere that you can find. It's always in my bio on Instagram. And you can register for a free course about speaking up and speaking out. Any last words?
Go for your dreams.
I agree. Express yourself, go for your dreams. Don't give up on them. And yes, there might be some physical stuff keeping you back. But there's always something that you can still do. And maybe it's a variation on what you thought it would be. But, give it a chance.
Yeah.
I'm still in time to go live. Oh my God. I've been rushing to go live in time. So I've got Jo on my phone and I need her to come in here.
Hi everyone, it's Jo. I'll be running this show for a couple of minutes while Lady's sorting herself out, as we are running a bit late, as you can see, because she did a lot of walking this evening, which is very good for her. Good exercise. And yeah, she's doing really well. Really proud of her.
Yeah. Well, guys, welcome to my life. Yes, it's messy. And I got myself some juice because I just walked here. This will be cut out. And that's the good bit because right now I'm sweating like crazy.